So I was running an engineering company that I'd run for the past 25 years and was trying to raise money through New York private equity groups when we were in COVID. And I saw the start of the 2020 Vendée Globe. And while I was in lockdown in my house on Zoom calls 12 hours a day, these skippers were walking down the dock, took off their mask and jumped into the boat to sail around the world. And that was really inspiring and really kicked me in the butt to say, hey, there's more to life than being strapped to a desk. In Canada, we really don't have much beyond dinghy sailing as a structured program, so it's a lot tougher. So I started to look at how Canada could do this. Well, we need somebody with a sailing experience. We need somebody who's crazy enough to do it. We need somebody with business experience. We need somebody who can run a company overseas. We need somebody who has a bankroll of money that can fund this until we get sponsors in. And then it kind of felt like I had all that, and I'm very fortunate to have all that, but not many people have all that. And so it became, I'm not going to say an obligation, but definitely a once-in-a-lifetime, once-in-a-person type opportunity that I could take advantage of. So that's really why I'm so passionate about doing this. Yeah, long-term goal for Canada Ocean Racing is really to help me be the first Canadian to get across the finish line of the Vendée Globe. It's also to build an organization that can sustain after me. I don't plan on doing the Vendée Globe 2, 3, 4 times, but I would love it to remain for Canada so we can have future Canadian sailors continue to do this IMOCA series and race in races like the Ocean Race series of races and the Vendée Globe. I think it's a very unorthodox way to come into the sport. I'm privileged to be able to do it, and it's definitely not the norm, that's for sure. Well, I think everybody has their reason or the way they got there. I know there are a number of people who grew up and took a career of professional sailing and have been doing that for their life. That's not my path. I didn't do a mini Figaro. I didn't grow up through the ranks. I've done a few races in the IMOCA class. My first race was called the Bermudes 1000. I also did a transat last year, a solo transat from New York to Vendée in France. I've done a double-handed transatlantic as well on the IMOCA. The Ocean Race Europe is definitely the biggest event that I've taken on thus far. And sailing with our team of Pip, Sebastian, and Chris, and realizing I'm sailing with people that are at this level in this class and in this world of sailing. And it was pretty daunting, to be in their presence, but it also reinforced to me how much I've learned in the past few years and how much I do know about how to sail these boats. Well, our campaign right now, we have a new team in France. We have a boat that's completely new to us. We are planning to try to get on the podium. My hopes for the Ocean Race Europe is that we show to the world that we have a great team. Our boat is new to us. It's called a Mira 4, and it has an incredible pedigree. It was built by the 11th Hour Racing team, who spared no money on research and development and putting this boat together. It was such a great boat. They won the ocean race in this boat a couple years back. And then Sebastian Simone purchased the boat and raced it through the last version of the Vendée Globe, came third, and now it's ours. So we have no excuse at all, but we have an excuse. We're a new team, but the boat will never be our excuse. It was a tough decision to figure out who was going to race with us. First we think about people that we know, and I've stayed close to Pip over the past few years. It was good to get close to her and followed her Vendée and talked to her a few times on the phone through the Vendée, and so we've definitely kept in touch. And so when we started to think about a team for the Ocean Race Europe, Pip was the first person that came to mind, and to reach out to her and see if she would join our team. She has foiling experience and a great person to be around, so would be a great member. And then from there we really listed the legs of the race, which legs I can do. Unfortunately I can't do them all, and put together a concept where we have 2 watches. On each watch we need somebody who's a very good foiler, and then on the other watches we can have people that are ideally strong IMOCA sailors to round out the team. And so we came up with Chris Pratt and Sebastian Marseille. Chris and Sebastian have been in the IMOCA class in various roles, working with teams for a number of years and bring a lot of IMOCA experience to the table. And Brian Thompson's just a legend in the sport. He's been on all kinds of different boats at super high performance level. So it's really nice to bring them all together on our team for the Ocean Race Europe. 3
Belle Isle, then it's upwind.
The new IMOCAs It's an absolute beast of a machine. The technology is incredible, just in the design, in the foils and how they work, and adjusting it on the fly and understanding the dynamics that are taking place to get this boat to be kind of levered up on the foil and out of the water is incredible. It takes a lot of skill and a lot of continual refinement of your trim to keep that boat balanced and in the right orientation. The competition for the Ocean Race Europe is stacking up to be huge, and I know there are new entrants coming as well. You know, they're fantastic teams. A lot of those teams have been together for years. They've had their boat for years, or for at least, you know, a couple of years. They're sailing with people that have been part of their team for a long time. So, you know, I'm not going to say intimidated, but it's quite daunting to walk around Lorient here and see the history of racing and the famous people that I've admired for years will now be racing against, and being boat to boat in them through the night on these legs of this race. As a team, to win the Ocean Race Europe entirely, we're for sure an underdog. But to win certain legs, I think we're a good team. We've got people on board with a lot of smarts, and tapping into the resources we can to learn the boat and the weather and to work as a team. And so I think you may see us on a podium here and there.